In today's episode, we turn our attention to the journey of elections in Nigeria, the electoral umpires and the trust deficits that have characterized each season. From 1959, when the first electoral umpire, Electoral Commission of Nigeria, ECN, conducted the parliamentary election to the 2023 general election, it has been a cacophony of mistrust, reading with suspicion of some sort, and in some cases, many young men and women, including babies, pay the supreme price. In the vast sweep of time, where the pulse of nations beats the cadence with the voices of its people, we turn our gaze upon a saga that has unfolded in the shadows of ballots and banners. But today is not the day to look at how the largest black nation wasted over 100,000 lives in something civil like election. African Television United will certainly look at these areas in subsequent analysis. Since 1959, Nigeria has had 6 different electoral bodies and a total of 14 chairpersons and 1 in acting capacity. First was Electoral Commission of Nigeria, ECN, in 1959, but quickly changed to Federal Electoral Commission, FEC, as soon as Nigeria secured flag independence. Like Professor Sonny Udeze will say, it was never independent in the true sense of it. It was just an exchange of colonial flag to national flag. In 1978, a new body was constituted by the regime of General Olusegun Obasanjo. It was called Federal Electoral Commission, FEDECO, which went on to organize the elections of 1979 that ushered in the Second Republic under the leadership of Alhaji Shehu Shagari. It also conducted the general elections of 1983. After General Buhari and his military boys were kicked out by a man described by many as the Maradona of Africa, President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, National Electoral Commission was instituted to organize what would later be regarded as the freest elections in Africa. Who could have forgotten the ingenuity of Professor Humphrey Wosu and his option A4? Many believe that was the closest Nigeria and the entire Africa came near to sanity. Yes, because it has been one asylum behavior after another. The Nigerian Senate and some tribal bigots can continue to debate whether Professor Humphrey deserved a medal or not. For us, the man remains our national hero. By December 1995, the military government of General Sani Abacha, which earlier dissolved NEC in 1993, established the National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, NICON, which also conducted another set of elections, local government councils to National Assembly. These elected institutions were, however, not inaugurated before the sudden death of General Abacha on June 1998. After Abacha died, under a very controversial circumstance, General Abudu Salami Abubakar's administration dissolved NICON and established the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in 1998. The body organized all transitional elections that ushered in the Fourth Republic on May 29, 1999. INEC has remained in place at a huge cost. Come with us as we conduct a little analysis that will review where the men that have led the different electoral bodies in Nigeria came from. A zone by zone geopolitical analysis shows that the South-South had produced 7 chairmen, the luckiest you may add. The South-East had produced 3, the North-West had 2, and the North-East 1. Interestingly, the North-Central and the South-West have never produced any until the recent appointment of Professor Joash Ojo Amopitan, who is from North Central. Some have argued that President Tinubu is a Maradona as well, or like they call him, the Jagaban of Africa. In one sweep, he appointed a man to cover the North Central by zone, and the same man covers the Southwest in terms of cultural affinity. Yes, the new INEC boss is from North Central Kogi State, but a core Yoruba man. We leave moralists to debate the morality of a president appointing his kingsman to conduct his own election. For the record, the following men have led the electoral body in Nigeria. Of course, all men and no woman like me. Ronald Edward Wade of ECN, 1958, Eyo Ita Esu, 1964 to 1966, Michael Ani, 1976 to 1979, Victor Ovie Whiskey, 1980 to 1983, Emma Ewa, 1987 to 1989, Humphrey Wosu, 1989 to 1993, Okon Idet Uya, 1993 to 1993, Somna Dagogo Jack, 1994 to 1998, Erim Akbata, 1998 to January 2000, Abel Gobadia, 2000 to May 2005, Maurice Iwu, June 2005 to April 2010, Atahiru Jega, June 2010 to June 2015, Amina Bala Zakari, Acting June to November 2015, and INEC Mahmoud Yakubu 2015 to 2025. Of all these men, Professor Wosu and Professor Jega stood out. In fact, Professor Jega conducted the only general election that saw an incumbent president losing out. Although Professor Jega was criticized by some Southerners as a man that played the northern card, he went down in history as the only man that came close to Wosu. One of those prominent Southerners was the former Minister of Niger Delta under President Jonathan, Mr. Peter Godday Orubebe.
Nigeria will not allow this.
Thank you, sir.
Every protest must be taken seriously. We will not allow it. We will not allow it. Look at the result that is already printed by Jega and APC. Look at it. The press should take it. This is already printed by Jega and APC. We will not take it. Look at it. Nigeria should hear it. It was.
In fact, the video you just watched was the scenario any mad president needed to annul the election. No, President Jonathan was a core Democrat. Yes, he was. The only president that had patience beyond human limits. But for 25 years, INEC has stood at the heart of that struggle, surviving criticism, reform and reform again. Every chairman has left behind a record, some commendable, others controversial. When Prof. Mahmoud Yakubu assumed office in 2015, optimism followed him. His reputation as an academic and administrator suggested order and innovation. Under his watch, INEC introduced major visitor reform, the permanent voters card, the BVAS, and the ref portal. These tools promised to make elections more credible and transparent. But technology, as Nigerians later saw in 2023, is only as reliable as its management. Server failures, delay uploads, and communication gaps led to frustration and accusations of manipulation. What was meant to strengthen trust ended up testing it. Supporters of Yakubu say he pushed INEC into the modern age. His critics insist he promised more than he could deliver. In between this position lies his true legacy, a man who tried to disguise trust but couldn't fully secure it. Now, a new page turns. In October 2025, President Bola Tinubu nominated Prof. Joash Ojo Amopitan as the next INEC chairman. The Council of State approved, and as well as the Nigerian Senate. Amopitan, a professor of law at the University of Jos, is widely respected in academic and legal circles. But he specializes in corporate governance, law of evidence and privatization. A Fulbright scholar and senior advocate of Nigeria, he is known for his calm and methodological approach qualities many say INEC urgently needs. But his profile has raised questions. When in 1967, he reportedly attended Kwara State Polytechnic between 1982 and 1984, meaning he would have started tertiary institution at 15. His educational timeline also skips primary and secondary details, moving directly to the University of Jos, where he reportedly studied law between 1984 and 1987. Though law in Nigeria typically spans 5 years. Another point of curiosity is his academic progression. He earned his PhD in 2007, but he already served as head of department from 2006 to 2008, and later dean of law from 2008 to 2014. In a university system known for strict hierarchies, such early promotions stand out and deserve clarification. These inconsistencies don't erase his achievement, but they highlight the need for transparency, especially in an institution that must be built on trust. Public confidence in INEC begins with the credibility of its leadership. Prof. Amopitan takes charge at a very sensitive time. The Commission is still battling public skepticism, logistical challenges, and the burden of rebuilding confidence. Nigerians are not just watching for credible election, they are waiting for honest leadership. From ECN to INEC, Nigeria's electorate journey has been a mix of progress and truly disappointment. Each era has taught new lessons about accountability and the resilience of democracy. As Professor Amopitan prepares to lead, Nigerians hope not for perfection, but for a clear break from the doubts of the past. Because ultimately, the story of INEC is the story of Nigeria, a democracy still learning to trust itself, one election at a time. I am Naomi Jonathan, and this is ATU News Uncensored. If you like this very analysis, why don't you click, like, and share?